and Queso back in their Magnifico days didn't manage to do so in full as well. So they're used to this. They're used to battling through our guild, but we have to remember, 0-2 right now. But what a start for Nolly.
Fantastic start for Nolly. Rocking that early 80s chic on his card, the Fairy Peak styly, taking a couple of touches under the defender with the dunk as well. And in 6 seconds, Guild got the exact start that they wanted, because so far, like you said, Cole, they've not had the best record in Group C. They're currently 0-2. Team Queso a little bit happier, going 1-1, but their one win was versus Giants, and Giants have had a real rough time of it recently. Does that win over Giants inspire Queso as much as it should?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that Giants are still a top-quality team, even though they have been in a little bit of bad form. It's only really been since the start of Grid, which really compounded the fact that they'd started to struggle. With regards to finishing in the top 6, they're still comfortable. So still a massive win to take. And this is a tough group. Dignitas have been performing so well in it. German Amigos seem to be one of the top teams in EU right now. And Guild and Team Queso have been the teams that seem to be struggling to get these victories. So early good goal for Guild is going to be great for their confidence and for their optimism going into this series. I feel like this could be one of those series where Guild just collapse somewhat if things start to go against them. That is my worry, even though I've picked them to win it. So I want to see them starting this series well. If they do that, there's no reason they can't take it. And they've started it brilliantly as Devo puts on another shot, and it's saved by Demensa with Atomic next to him. Now Nolly over the top of the goal, but Demensa clears it away. And we're reaching the end point in these groups, Stumpy, and I think a lot of teams are going to be watching this being a little bit nervous, rooting for one team or the other, particularly Giants.
I mean, either team is going to be able to fall into those bottom spots. The only team that is confirmed to be going through is Dignitas. They're currently 4-0. They have one more match. Oh, sorry, no, they've done all their matches now, so now it's just relying on German Amigos. Will they steal the #1 spot from them? But everybody else, it can go anywhere. No one is locked into any part of the group, if they're locked into a bottom position or if they're locked into a top 2 position. You said earlier about Guild as well, with they could collapse. They're a team and an org that focuses a lot on the mentality of their players, on the psychology of how a series goes and how to battle back against what can be your biggest enemy, your brain. That big old lump of flesh can really undo a lot of hard work that these players have been going through. So it will certainly be a test for Guild to get their first win and then carry that momentum through to face off against the biggest contenders in Giants later.
I was about to say the mentality for Guild seems great so far. They're making all the plays so far in this game, but what a save that was from Atomic. The classic squishy save or in and out save. The Guild come forward again with Foe, the flip reset. They've got a few of those already. Certainly playing with confidence. Nolly's been left back a little bit alone, but again is able to show some composure, bring it to the corner. Suddenly though, Demensa comes away with the ball. Here's going to be a chance for Team Queso, and they take it. So a counter-attack for the Cheese Boys.
Yeah, Atomic starting off the scoring, and look at that touch. Round 1, Demensa with the second touch as well. Those quick little tap plays have done so well in various series we've seen today. We saw that Team BDS earlier on got absolutely torn apart by them when they were playing against White Demons. It was an amazing passing play over on the secondary stream. So it's been big so far, hoping that the passing is going to be more prevalent.
We'll see if there's a pass here for Nolly. I think there could have been if he turned around, but maybe a little bit low on boost, so decided against it as this first game enters more than halfway being finished and we start to reach the finishing point of it. BK7 has a pass up top to Demensa, but Demensa's actually going to be a fake, I think. No, it's going to be a dunk. Didn't see that coming at all. Thought it was going to be a fake. Thought it was going to be a pass. In the end, Demensa just fell on the clearance and begins this next wave of pressure for Atomic coming up against Nolly. It does seem that since that goal, Team Queso playing a lot better. But then Demensa's touch towards Atomic is not the one he wanted, and they are sent all the way back to their half.
So as we mentioned earlier, we do have an update from another series and a shock update as well. We thought the Liquid was going to be doing well today.
They didn't.
Well enough to beat Vitality? Apparently so. There is a 3-1 victory for Team Liquid over Vitality. That is a gigantic win for them.
Oh, and that is a gigantically horrible moment for Devo. He was backflipping on the goal line. Somehow he kept the shot out. That would have been the lead for Guild. Maybe he's so shocked by the fact that Liquid have beaten Vitality, he couldn't take his car away. His eyes just wandered over to the Rocket League Esports website and went, what? Surely not. But Guild are going to have to regroup because that will be a real moment of frustration for them.
The self-save is one of those awkward things to try and explain away in comms as well. Because it's like, Look, I clearly didn't mean that. Like, you know I didn't mean that. There's no world where I would have done it. I'm just sorry that my car happened to be there. But in the final 40 seconds, that mentality is going to need to be absolutely rock solid. VK Salen going through, doing all of the hard work, and Demensa couldn't put the shot away.
They're going to come again, though. VK Salen into the center, but it's Nolly that reads it next. Pushes it powerfully to the corner, and it's missed by Atomic. It's actually worked out pretty well, though, because Demensa had a clean hit afterwards. Atomic opts to go long, which Nolly was reading. 20 seconds left now, and Team Queso on the attack. Atomic waiting, hoping this ball drops faster than it will do. It's just pushed into the corner by Devo. I thought for a second he'd just get a 50-50, but almost managed to get a pass going. But now, here comes a pass into the middle again. Tho puts it wide, and unless something crazy happens, Stumpy, we're going to go to overtime. Let's see if there's any danger here. Or maybe.
So this is off that incredibly early goal earlier as well. It was about 6 seconds in, I think. That is when Guild last scored, and then it was a couple of minutes later, Queso get theirs. Since then, though, Guild scoreless, wanting to start off the series with a win, because it's going to be, if you can get an early advantage in these series, especially considering how close these teams are with Giants involved as well, even that mid-table battle with Queso, bit of confidence is going to go a long way.
Well, Giants have been beaten 3-0 by Dignitas, which 1 gives them their 3rd loss of this group, and 2 is another -3 on their game differential. So for Guild, they want to take series, of course they do, but even games could be important if they do end up being embroiled in a battle for 4th and 5th. Neither of these teams want to be swept by any means. VK Salen tries to get a sweep for his team going, but the pass is blocked away. Someone's chasing this one down, has no boost, I don't think, so I can just slow things down. Actually, he did. Okay, he must have picked them up earlier, which I'd missed. Anyway, Nolly's read what he was doing. Let's try and find Devo over there to the right.
The pass is just too perfect.
It was. The whole game seemed to just slow down for a second as the pass came in. Not too much has gone on in this overtime so far. It's yet to really spring into life, I would say.
It's been all Guild, however, so far. It's just been attack, attack, attack. None of them going in, but certainly making their presence known. Good shot from Demensa to start off the Queso pressure. Devo can tap that to the corner. Nolly to follow. Does miss, however, and Salen suddenly has an opening.
Devo's got 10 boost and a bit of composure to play with too. Atomic goes high. This is Team Queso's chance. If they can just get one decent pass. They're going for the backball plays a lot, though. And Guild seems to be reading that so incredibly easily. I want to see these Team Queso players showcase their solo ability, because they're certainly capable of more than booming the ball above Guild's goal and hoping for a mistake from the Guild defense. I'm more impressed by how Guild are playing this one in general than Team Queso so far. I thought they're playing with a little bit more purpose to their attack. This is a good example of it. Devo to the backboard. Nolly's coming in. Nolly's going to shoot. Nolly is going to force Atomic to own goal. After the own save earlier, we've got an own goal to complete the collection.
It was Nolly's name in all caps, and that finish was pretty much perfect, to be honest, where he went crossbar down, helped in by Atomic, but if that was going to be balancing on the goal line, you normally favor the attacker in those situations. So Guild Esports taking their first game, went to a sweaty 3-minute or so overtime, and that will mean that the series goes 1-0 to them so far. We have an update on what happened over in Group B with Liquid beating Vitality. That now means that Team Liquid, they have secured #1 in their group. They're locked in. They're at the #1 spot. They've gone 3-1 in Group B. Team Liquid continuing their form from the grid.
Is it locked in, though? I do feel with Team Liquid, even if the maths say it's locked in, they'll find a way not to finish first. Can you confirm 100% that's the case?
Gibbs said Liquid clinched #1 in group as well. To me, if that's wrong, this is on Gibbs, and I'm waiting for his message to confirm.
No,
but
I believe you. I completely believe that. If any team could
you've sown so much doubt in my heart right now that I don't know what to push.
It was a joke, Stumpy.
Wait. Gibbs is typing. Hold. Gibbs is typing. Hold.
Do the players have to hold for
players should hold? Yes.
I don't think they're listening to you.
Players are going to have to hold for this. Team Liquid just forfeited. I'm joking.
No,
Gibbs did type that, and it is a joke.
We move on. Team Liquid have won their group, and this game goes to game 2 on Forbidden Temple, with Guild taking the first after a long odd overtime. It was an odd game 1. It was your classic feeler. Neither team playing particularly quickly or aggressively, I feel. Just playing by the numbers up to this point.
Great save from the line. VK Salen can't quite wrap his car around that second shot, however. But good early doors looking for Team Queso. One booster though, couldn't get the double tap even if he was in position to. That miss on the back line as well. Thankfully, Demensa there to clear the ball away in favor of Team Queso. Trying to get involved down the other end with a couple of bumps. Look at this aggression coming in from Queso now.
Yeah, this is what we want to see from Team Queso. They are at their best when they are utterly fearless, swarming, even if they're giving away a goal or two down the other end because the ball's trickling into their net. It doesn't matter because they know they're going to score one or two more against their opponents. We haven't really seen that from them so far, but that's better. Good bumping from Demensa. Love a bump play, but Tho comes in for the save.
Now Nolly, can he carry it around in the midfield? Does manage to send it far with the help of Atomic. Devo can catch, can try and pinch to the side after dodging a bump. Though central, but cleared away by Demensa. Devo, can he half rotate round? No, Nolly is there with his momentum carrying himself and the ball forwards. We'll find VK Silent on the backboard, and great touches by him to clear it around all of the Guild defenders. The shot didn't quite go in. The save by Devo to clear out Demensa's shot too, and what a transition that was.
It was, but it was a great read from Devo. He knew exactly what was happening. That's an interesting touch though from Tho. He and Nolly sort of followed that ball behind them and thought, wait a minute, we're going to need to block this because that is not the touch that we wanted. That is the touch that Demensa wanted. But Nolly can clear eventually. So a couple of scary moments from Guild, which to be fair, they navigated fairly well. They're going to have to defend all over again because here's Demensa. He shoots. Devo to the crossbar. Where's this one landing? Atomic and VK Silent get each other's way. And now they're both rotating out when the perfect pass comes in from Demensa.
That was an amazing turn from Demensa too, where he could have retreated back to his net, played it really safe, but in fact, I think it would have been much riskier to do so, because then suddenly he's on the back foot with 3 attackers bearing down on him. To cut that attack out at midfield meant that the ball sailed over the 2 Guild defenders, and all of a sudden he's scot-free.
Important passage of play here for Guild, if you ask me, because with Team Queso starting to warm up, if they can get a goal or two here, they really could build upon that momentum. Guild have to stay incredibly strong in defense to snuff out that Queso attack when they have it building. And they've done exactly that so far, but here comes yet another wave of territory and pressure for Queso. Could this finally be the moment? No, it's not. It's another save. Demensa out wide. He pushes it into the center, but he's missed it. Atomic tries a pass, but it's just going to fall to Devo, who blocks again. Devo in defense has been massive for Guild.
Yeah, he's been absolutely huge. He's their biggest defensive character. He has gone from a role previously, years and years ago, where he was the attacking force, the twirly-swirly, amazing scouse. But now, all of a sudden, he's become that much more defensive, strong back man who, on Guild, they certainly needed that for them to grow a backbone.
Still Scouse?
Still Scouse, yes.
Fair play to him. He is waiting at the back now as Nolly goes down the left. A foray into the Queso half for Guild, but it's slapped right back at them. Atomic's going to go for a bump on Tho, is he, or for a redirect? I don't think he could quite decide what he wanted to do. And Tho was incredibly grateful to set up Nolly for a transition. Devo is up. Tho's waiting underneath, but then Devo's touch a little bit lackluster and cleared away towards Tho in the center for another longer passage of play for Team Queso. Here's VK Silent, another dribble. They're starting to have more time on the ball, our Team Queso, and that's what's scaring me for Guild.
And it's mainly VK Salem who's leading these spearheaded attacks, trying to break through that Guild backline. The shots from him haven't been perfect, but they've got pretty far. Finally, a chance to drop one down yet again to a teammate. Atomic having the shot saved away, however, as Nolly sends it high. The defender needs to be in a great position. He is. Nolly gets his shot saved away. The clear punches back through that Guild back line, not into the net, but past the defenders, means that Nolly has to form a counter with the pinch. Demensa, great positioning to keep this even.
Yeah, Demensa shows his reflexes there. Now we're showing his pre-reads as well. The smarts and the muscle memory of Demensa all on show in the last 30 seconds or so. Now he wants a redirect. Actually, no, doesn't it? I thought he was going to go for a redirect from my angle, but I think he was just dodging back home. Yet again, we're reaching the point where we're 20 seconds away from an overtime. Last time it did go to overtime, and it was won by Guild. But you have to say on the balance of play, Team Queso are going to be favourites in this one if it does go to overtime. Unless Guild can win it here. Devo over the top of VK Salem. Atomic is coming in. He's had a quiet game. Has Atomic. He needs to get involved now because Demensa's chasing this one down. VK Salem goes long. Nolly's going to try and catch it and make sure he doesn't give away a chance to Queso. It was one for Atomic, and it will hit the floor for our second overtime in a row.
Guild managing to win at the last one in a couple of minutes, but this time, if you ask me, it's Queso with the advantage. Tho has to clear that away. Nobody was back. Nolly was not in net at all. tries to read Dementor's pass, does so, actually scares away both of the attacking players of Team Queso. But double players on the backboard means that Team Queso have space on the floor.
If Guild can steal this one, it can absolutely destroy Queso.
God,
but with
perfect.
the genius of Dementor, it's not going to happen. Atomic gets the goal, but watch this.
Oh, that perfect touchdown finds Atomic and VK Salem, both of them hungry, rabid dogs rushing to the ball at the net. And Team Queso, with that gorgeous touchdown from Dementor, will take the second game.
The only disappointment to me is that VK Salem and Atomic didn't hit the ball at the same time, which would have stolen the assist from Dementor. Imagine that. That would have been an absolute travesty. I don't really care too much. I'm sure that the win is more important than anything for Dementor. But wow, that's your creativity. That's your spark.
Lovely.
But in a slightly pedestrian series like this is precisely what your team are desperate for there from Dementor.
That just shows there's a lot in the tank for Team Queso, where Guild, I think, were running a little bit one track in that game. A couple of shots here and there, ended up getting 8 in total, but none of them particularly memorable. More just pokes on net, seeing if they can try and get 1 or 2 through. But wonder saves from Guild held them in regulation. Overtime, different matter, as soon as Dementor fancied a cheeky one.
Yeah, I think in game number 3, we're going to have to see Team Queso continuing to build upon the momentum that have just built for themselves, not just with the goal, but that gameplay in general. I'd say that, in my opinion, they were better than Guild in that game all over the pitch. Guild did defend well, but they had to defend. It was Team Queso that had all the boost. It was them who had the control of the field, and they looked more likely to score pretty much throughout the entirety of it all. Which then sends the question back to Guild. Why did they struggle in that game, and how do they change it for this one? Because in my opinion, based on that performance, something needs to change here.
I mean, it was still an overtime that ended up going... It was under a minute in the end. Oh, Salem just trying to get another goal to start us off nice and early. It was still very even. I don't think a huge amount needs to change on Guild. It's just that there was immense speed coming out from Team Queso, and I think that's very hard to deal with for most teams. Bear in mind how well Queso have done with the speed play. Not many teams can play faster than them at this level. BDS obviously just being one of them, because of course they are. But I think if Team Queso continue being fast, that is fine for Guild. If they can cut out a couple of the boosts and push them back into their half, maybe go for a couple of counter-attacks, because we saw how much Dementor wanted to turn back and get the half rotation. If Guild can catch Team Queso out on those half rotations and get a counter-attack, a long shot, make sure they need to keep one player back, it immediately snuffs out a lot of their attacking plays.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps I'm trying to push too much ego onto Guild there by saying you're being outpaced, be faster. Maybe your theory is exactly right, that is okay against Team Queso, because this is a team that might get tilted. It is a team that will make mistakes, and Guild certainly do have the patience to play for it. But we'll have to wait and see if that's what they're going to do, or if they want to force their way into this one. They have had a lot more pressure at the start of game 3. A fake there from Nolly. Or a miss. I mean, I'm not against the idea of them faking, because Queso seemed to read what Guild were trying last time. So maybe a few more weird touches, a few more solo plays where they're expecting a pass could be nice. I mean, equally, I think he missed, but I think actually he was onto something there accidentally.
The amount of pre-jumps we've seen from Nolly trying to go for the pre-jump passes as well is something that he could certainly utilize in a more effective way at times too, where if he can get away before the Team Queso defenders, then that is going to give them massive openings, and a great chance there for Dementor, having the ball absolutely rocketed at him, had to send it off with the side of his car, up to beat out Tho as well, has to rush to the back line from the backboard and try and clear it out to Diva, but VK Salem will intercept. As Atomic is left on the back lines, he has to try and snuff out Tho.
Good clearance. But Diva read it well. He's put it to the side for Tho, who gets a redirect up high. Nolly can shoot here. He picks his spot, but Atomic, VK Salem, and Dementor had each covered a small part of the goal, and they can boom it long. He's arriving for this one. It's just Diva that's going to fall onto. Another chance for Guild to come forward. And midfield pressure as well from Guild, something that we saw nothing of in the last game. But as soon as Team Queso come forward, they have got the quality in attack.
That's a fantastic read as well. VK Salem up relatively early for that, way before the ball bounces, reads it's going straight down, and those ramp bounces are absolutely deadly for a defender. Cracking positioning, really nice and confident, giving Team Queso the first goal, and around half of the game gone. Just great, really, really solid work.
Nolly touches it, puts it into the centre. Devo's there, could equalise instantly, but can't quite get his shot on target. Because lets that one go. He has a pass in the center. It's Demensa. They pass to each other about 17 times, arguably 16 times too many. Then somehow the ball ends up looping all the way towards the Team Queso goal. It was, thankfully for Atomic, not charged down by anybody from Guild. That's a misload from Demensa. Atomic had to be aware and have more reflexes as well. We're seeing a lot of instances where Team Queso are getting touches they're not expecting. And having to do something with them very quickly, and they're dealing with that well.
A lot of these aerial challenges, when there is a 50, are going the way of Team Queso too. Their body language is much more aimed at getting the clear to continue going through. They're punching through the ball as opposed to just trying to meet it and then hoping that they do well.
Yeah, but what a save that was from Devo. First, to read that the double tap was approaching, and then to judge the angles even before it had come in. More great defending from him. I do feel about that man as the big man in defense. They would be probably a lot further back than they are right now in this series. So credit to Devo so far, but he's got more defensive work to do, and his team need a goal in the next 80 seconds or so. Tho takes a snapshot. Atomic's trying to make up for it. He does, but it's as high as Devo. Such an attack wasn't quite as good as his defensive one. Sort of puts it on a plate for Atomic a little bit. And Guild need to break free yet again.
There's a minute left as well. It's going to be a really big task to try and get the plays downfield, but with Atomic missing, that does open it up for Nolly. Can he touch this central?
Nice.
Gets the flip reset, sends it opposite bottom corner as well. The placement was found, and the first goal along with it.
Last game we had Demensa that brought Team Queso to life. This one, it's Nolly for Guild. I didn't think he had the boost to make there. He's just crept to the finish line that is getting that flip reset. And then the fact that the shot was so perfectly nestled in the bottom corner, just world class there.
Yeah, it was the perfect timing to go for it as well. When there's a lot of defenders in the way, go for the flip reset, and you may just about eke it over one or two. And now they're back on the offense. Nolly was also bottom of the table throughout most of this game. Hopefully a confidence builder for him. Devo up, will win that ball nice and quickly. Goes a little bit too far though. Tho is not able to get the shot away. Nolly has to defend, up for one. Will he go for the second? Attempts it. And Tho is left with a fully open net, opts to go for the flick.
Could have doinked. If he had doinked, genuinely, that ball would have rolled along the floor and probably gone in. Probably. At any wannabe pro listening, the doink is an effective shot to be able to take, and that was a perfect example. I do not know why he flipped. Anyway, the game goes on. 5 seconds away from the third overtime in a row. DK7's going to get in here ahead of Tho. Devo, does he opt to keep it alive? He does, but Nolly wasn't on the same wavelength, and maybe Team Queso have a chance for
this is big.
that it falls to in the end. He has boost, and he's got the control, he's got the skill, but he's also got Demensa in his way, and now Atomic can charge down Devo. This is still danger for Team Queso.
Sun Long from Salem will go a distance to find Atomic. That falls again. Tho really wanted to take that down for the 1v1, but a really good challenge in the midfield will bring us into the third overtime in a row. One apiece so far.
I feel like that few seconds of play, though, was a great example of how much confidence Guild have been given by the goal that Nolly has just scored, because I think before they would have taken the overtime, whereas there everybody wanted it. But so far in the overtime, it's Team Queso that have started it better until Devo clears to Nolly and follows it. VK Salem has to be pretty speedy getting back and then putting a save just to the side of his goal to set up Demensa on the side. He's got players behind him desperate for a pass. VK Salem is one of them and rolls it around the corner via a pinch. Nolly's pass is good towards Devo, though, until Atomic clears Devo down.
Good chance for Atomic to go for a redirect. Will miss it instead, but it was still a convincing shot on net as the defender had to try and budget for both options. Nolly down this right wing will be tackled by Atomic. Goes from the ceiling, has his flip, gets the flip reset as well, and then goes for the shot. Nolly up. Did see Demensa go up as well, however, and so he didn't want to waste boost in a futile battle up to the ball. Minute gone. Both these teams having really decent chances on their each. VK Salem clears the midfield for the attack from Demensa, who will not quite flick it high.
Oh, no!
Oh!
Stop! He was put off by your casting. You lost your words, just like earlier on when we said that. I know it all went wrong in about 3 seconds. What's just gone on here? Tho! Not that way, lad.
Disastrous touch from Tho with over a minute. He just loses his cool, picks up his cup of squash, and says, GG, go next. But that is an appalling touch from the Guild defender.
I've literally just written Tho under the Guild goals column in my notes. because I was saying Tho so much. I was like, oh, Tho, he plays for Guild. Wait a minute. No, it wasn't Tho that technically got the goal. That was a farcical ending to that third game. But yet again, Team Queso will not care. This has been a weird series, a very odd one indeed. Somehow, Team Queso are 2-1 up in it.
I mean, Team Queso are playing fantastically. They had the majority of the pressure in that match as well, despite the fact that the shots are very heavily skewed in favor of Guild. I think a lot of that game was Team Queso managing the midfield a lot more effectively. That was a real issue for how that ended for Guild, because they were holding on. Guild and Queso were also holding on. Both these teams really scrapping to try and get the win out here. Neither of them putting the other one down too far. This is a really fantastic series so far of how close these teams are. It's why they're both battling for those mid-table positions ultimately. But that's just rough, man. There's not much more that Greg can say in that meeting apart from, that was a really rough loss, guys. Make sure that we do well in the fourth. You know?
I think if the player laughs, if Tho's laughing or annoyed, you acknowledge it. If he's just like, move on, everybody just moves on. Everyone saw it. No one thinks that Tho didn't own goal. So just pretend it didn't happen and you can laugh about it later, because we have still got a series, Stumpy. And as a reminder, game differential could matter here. With how tight Group C is, every single goal matters, let alone this series. This was the group of death, okay? Whoever goes out, it's not embarrassing to lose Group C, but oh my goodness, it's difficult to make it out of Group C at this point for both these teams.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone just battling for, we said, the mid-table spot, because Dignitas has already taken up one of the top two. They are doing incredibly today. If not the top one, actually. Yeah, definitely the top one spot. So that second spot still up for grabs. Tho with a flip reset. Saved away from Atomic. A great shot into position. Devo, can he get the touchdown? He does manage to. And then can't quite get the second one. That was the cutest of angles. And yet, Team Queso hold on.
There was just always another dodge. I kept thinking that was the play, and then somehow Devo would have his fifth flip, which he unlocked at some point by landing on something. I don't know how that wasn't a goal. But then again, if it had gone in, I would have said I don't know how that was a goal. So I don't know what to believe anymore, Stumpy.
What a way to start off this fourth game, though. Guild looking to come straight onto the offensive.
Although Tho is going to have to do some defending now. It's actually a really nice transition to Nolly, but Atomic was waiting for it. Booming it back over the top of the Guild defense. This is how they were playing in game one with Team K. So I want to see them take a little bit more close control yet again. BK then into the center. Atomic is there, over to the backboard. He takes a double tap. Oh, what a save from Nolly.
That's beautiful. That pre-jump, we said we wanted him to use them a little bit better defensively, and does so perfectly that time. Demensa around the side of one defender. Atomic can go up to meet, but Nolly again nice and quick, though with a lot of boost and an open net to aim for. Manages to send it with elation. Bottom corner, Guild go ahead.
Great pass there from Nolly. Tho is up. There's no defense for a million miles, and Tho has simultaneously the easiest and hardest job in Rocket League, which is to score the open goal.
That's a good start in this game for Guild. Last one ended quite dramatically awfully for them, if people haven't forgotten. And Tho getting his reconciliation goal is just going to, I think, help out quite a lot. Definitely a mental team in Guild.
Ooh, good read there from Tho to get the block on VK Selling. Yeah,
he's back.
Tremendous read. Yeah, exactly. Good. That's what you wanted from Tho, to see him playing well in this game. Not effective at all. They're pros, Stumpy. They're always going to be fine. Demensa finds Atomic. Atomic shoots, Tho was on the side and read it well, and sets up Nolly too. So some end-to-end stuff now for both teams, of Guild one in the lead.
Great idea for Nolly there to go for the long shot as well, because I think he sensed there was a big attack coming, and the way to shut down a big attack of all three players conveyor belting you into a corner is by sending it long, force one or two back. Especially if it's on target, they cannot waste any time in returning.
Big clear from Tho. Their clearances, Guild, have been great, and that's another example of one. Team Queso unable to keep the ball too often in Guild's half, which is the first time I've really been saying that this series, really. So good progress from Guild. Demensa does clear it long. Tho's underneath it. Demensa and BK Salen get in each other's way. Not ideal. They've both wasted boost there, and the ball didn't really go anywhere either. So they're going to be a little bit stretched. Our Team Queso in defense here. Let's see if Devo can make the most of it. Yes, he can. He gets the assist. Nolly's there. Tho follows up, but sadly for Guild, not quite the final touch they needed.
They have the lead, so they won't miss that goal too much, but that is a really great chance to score one off the back. Devo, can he squeeze that one in? Abso-freaking-lutely he can.
Oh, the Doomsday dish from Devo. The classic dishes of the genre. There it is. Look at that. Out he goes. Then in he comes. That's a very clean example of a dish right there, Stumpy.
That is lovely. Great positioning. He just sees that final defender go into the corner for boost. He didn't expect Devo to make his way through both of his teammates. Finally, manages to do so. Gets that second goal for Guild. And I said that the goal that they missed they wouldn't miss it too much, you know, because I felt like the dish was coming.
You always know. You can smell the dish. Dinner was cooking. Here's Nolly. He goes long. Can he get another goal for Guild? Yes, he can. He sneaks it in off the ceiling.
Guild looking absolutely on fire in this match as well. Look at that tap as well. It went from ground onto the ceiling, Nolly following it the entire way and gets the slightest touch. So it ricochets in off the post. 3 goals in favor of Guild here. That's also 1 apiece. Though Nolly and Devo putting in equal legwork to presumably win this game and take us to 5.
You did a arguably rather mean impression of our mate Gregan, Guild's coach. And actually, whatever he has really said has made a huge difference as Nolly somehow comes away with the ball there and finds Devo. It's made a huge difference in the way Guild are playing right now because they seem to be playing in this game for the first time this series with a little something I like to call confidence. It hasn't really been there. They weren't going for these solo plays. They weren't... It didn't seem like they were attempting to keep too much pressure before. And now suddenly, everything they're going for seems to be working. The belief is back. They could get a 4th here depending on Tho's first touch. Well, actually... I thought that was going to be a massive counter all the way back to the other end that would have turned a 4th to a 3-1. But even so, yeah, long story short, Guild, this is what we want to see from them.
Dementos didn't have the boost to wrap himself around it, which I'm sure he regrets massively. Just not quite picking up 1 or 2 little pads, but he had to beeline it to the ball. Don't blame him whatsoever. Final 30 seconds sees Devo defending, Tho and Nolly both facing the wrong way and thinking, yeah, we should probably get out of the way here, actually, in hindsight. With 15 seconds left and a VK Sailor near won the goal, Guild have won the 4th, and as we go into the 5th goal, it's our first game without an overtime, and Guild win it decisively.
Unless there are 3... No, I'm joking. Yeah, absolutely. No overtime here. Guild have taken this one pretty simply. I mean, would you agree with me that this has been a very strange series? There have been odd touches, there have been own goals, there have been...
Yeah, it makes no sense.
...that really should lead to goals that haven't. What I feel like both teams will be thinking, one way or another, we found our way here in Game 5. Let's reset. Let's just see this as one game to take it all and win it.
Yeah, and right now, I do think that Guild, exactly as you said, Cole, they're playing with confidence. That was some really fantastic efforts from every single player where they managed to get themselves 13 shots to Queso's 4. That is a massive shooting percentage difference, and being able to continue that attack whilst conceding 0 goals is also a massive testament to, exactly as you said, what Greg had mentioned. I'm amazed that goal didn't go in.
That was just ridiculous. I was not forcing those gasps. I kept thinking any second it's going to be a goal, and then a defender would pop up out of absolutely nowhere. That was my favourite moment of this series so far, without doubt. But
there wasn't even a goal that went in.
I know. It will go down in history as a goal that should have gone in. Yeah, but I'm hoping that this 5th game will be even more exciting. I'm sure it will be. I think that it's not been pure, beautiful Rocket League from any of these players today, but they've put on a darn good show.
It's a
got
battle,
5 more minutes. It is a battle. It's a scrap. Who's going to take it?
It's so dead even right now. Potentially with Guild having that momentum from that only non-overtime game that they have won. But to the death of that match, VK Salen and Dementor were still going for some amazing solo plays and redirects and everything like that. So trying to squeeze in a couple of goals, hopefully knowing that they are able to pull them off. But Nolly was starting off the initial attack. Has Devo then turning back around with nobody taking the initiative to go for that ball. Means the midfield floaters are certainly in play.
Dementor shoots quickly and Tho puts it out wide towards Nolly. So already early chances here for Team Queso, but wait a minute, is that one sneaking in? Not quite. Atomic just got back in time. I feel like it's going to be a goal fest, which probably means I've cursed it to be a 0-0 with a long overtime. But we'll see if for once I haven't cursed the match. Nolly will catch and he'll flick it into the center. Devo's arriving, actually fakes out. I think it was Atomic. So VK Sailing goes along. So there's good defending from both teams so far. A few early chances. A fast-paced Game 5, which is what we want to see.
Dementor with an incredibly aggressive turn on that ball. In the reverse, ends up going to get the touch on it. Goes straight up and backwards somewhat. So utterly caught the defensive Guild out. Shot from BK Salen, saved away by Tho. And as that ball goes around the right-hand side, Nolly has to break down 2 defenders by himself.
That came out of absolutely nowhere as well. That infield pass from pretty much the center of the field. There's another good pass from Tho. Atomic has VK Salen to his right. He's got Demensa back as well, depending on the clearance. That'll be VK Salen that goes next, though. 1 touch, 2 touches, closed down by Devo. And Devo attempted a snapshot or just something to send it over the top of Demensa. Didn't quite work, but a nice idea. Look at Atomic. They're charging forwards. The flip reset of Demensa's dreams. But sadly for him, all it's done is put VK Salen in trouble.
Oh, that was an absolute scooper-duper. How did that go all the way around? That's 1 to 2. Demensa can't quite secure that double tap, and Tho can clear it away. Finally, both of these teams are waking up and unlocking their full attacking potential.
Okay, something stunning is brewing. I can sense it. Whichever goal wins this game is going to be a good one. Nolly out to the side. Demensa has 100 boost and he's on the wall. He can do so much from this position. He can get a flip reset almost over the top of Devo. But Devo held his nerve. Scary to do when Demensa and his Dominus are charging at you. Still 0-0, Stumpy. Half time.
So it's VK Salen wanting to try and get a pass out there as well, but couldn't quite find a teammate. Midfield playing a massive role in this again. Almost every single time I look, the boost, and Atomic there grabbing the boost again, is just gone. It's fully depleted. Neither team can attack well. Atomic, though, finally a relatively open chance on there, and he will slam it home.
The defense finally breaks. Devo put in trouble with Tho's touch. Nolly did his best to make up for it, but it was too little too late. Then a clean finish from Atomic into the bottom corner of the goal will give Team Queso a precarious lead. I don't trust either of these teams to hold a lead, by the way, so by no means is this one anywhere near over.
VK Salen opting not to go for the ceiling there, instead just touch it down and try and follow it through with a good 50. Atomic doesn't have too much boost to follow up. Demensa will take that back boost too. He has to rotate back round. Demensa slowing that down and gives an opening for Tho to attack.
Atomic beats Devo to the ball there. Long he goes. There's a pass into the center. It's VK Salen that leaves it for. What a save from Tho. Demensa, does he want to get the shot away? He almost is able to. Nolly gets in there ahead of him, and now it's a chance for Guild.
Devo, chance, shot, wide. Demensa can clear it back into the corner. Tho and VK Salen face off time and time again. This corner is crucial. VK Salen holding Atomic's hand through the car window. Isn't able to follow him down the pitch. So Nolly will go for 1, the second, and Demensa with the 3rd touch to keep us 1-0.
Another example of why you cannot let the concentration go for a second. What a read that was, but it was saved equally well. Guild will come again. Devo towards Nolly. Time just beginning to run out as Nolly falls on the ball. Gets a really clean touch. And went for a bump as well. But VK Salen, look at that clearance. Queso are defending this so well.
Demensa trying to get a little bit tricky. Dribble underneath. Fake high, go low. As VK Salen gets it central. Atomic in for the 2nd goal. And that could be the Queso win as Demensa rubs cheese in the wound and destroys Devo on his way through.
That may well be that. VK Salen has had a brilliant series. In an odd series, he has been the player that I would say has had the most consistency and been the least likely to do something really silly. So I'm glad that it was him with a great assist for what could well be the winning goal for Team Queso, the one that sends them through to tomorrow safely in a group that nobody is safe in apart from Dignitas. Guild need to win this game. They have to. And they have to get it going right now as Devo goes in for an air challenge of VK Salen. It's going to drop, but Atomic clears it long yet again. Guild just can't get a foothold in this aggressive and optimistic Team Queso defense.
Final 30 seconds rather. Devo can send down the right-hand side, but none of his teammates taking the initiative to push far down. Every second that goes by is happiness in the way of Giants. Their final match is against Guild. And with this game difference, and with this loss, Guild have just made it harder for themselves.
Yeah, we'll have to go to Gibbs and the gang to see the actual maths of it, but not yet, Stumpy.
Never mind!
Because up pops Devo. One chance, he nails it, and maybe this series isn't over yet.
We were clearly wrapping up Devo. Come on, man. Why did you have to launch some missiles at their net? Final 4 seconds. Utterly vital this kickoff goes the way of Guild.
It has done into the corner. But VK Salen's got the next touch. Tho is up. Needs to somehow judge it so this ball stays in the air. Devo and Nolly double commit. Could that spell the end with Demensa arriving? Yes, it will. Team Queso see it away to go 2-1 in their group, and I'm pretty sure guaranteed qualification to the knockout gauntlet.
That is really, really tough for Guild. They were so close to winning that in the end. I mean, the final goal coming with 4 seconds left, it gives them a chance. The sun starts to poke out from behind the clouds, but then rain. And it's that weird rain where it's also sunny at the same time. And you're like, this is weird. Sun shouldn't be at the same time rain is. It should be cloudy. That's what Guild are feeling. But also, they're a UK orgs. They should be used to the rain.
I don't know what you want me to say after you've just said those words.
Talk about like cheese and cheese puns, I reckon.
Cheese is tasty. What a series that was, Stumpy. 3-2 to Team Queso. That was fun. It was enthralling. I'm exhausted after witnessing it. And I think that these players, they're going to have to step up and play it all over again because Group C is far from over at this point.
There's still so much to come. Guild are going to be facing off against Giants a little bit later on. That is not next, but there is some more Rocket League coming up, Cole. Everybody make sure that you stick around. These groups are electric, and you do not want to miss a second.